All right, boys and girls, you should have out the BodyWorks end of unit test review that you picked up on your way into class today. As I go over this in this presentation, you need to fill in the blanks as we go along. The great part is that you can hit pause at any time, copy it down, what you need to get copied down, and then hit play to continue. Okay. So we're going to start out with the digestive system first. And first question here says, explain the function of each organ that is part of the digestive system. So the first thing we're going to look at is the esophagus. And after putting this together, I realized I made a few mistakes here, but that's okay. Should have started out with the mouth and teeth and kind of just go in that order. But the mouth and in the mouth is where digestion begins with the teeth and saliva. Okay, the teeth begin mechanical digestion. It breaks the pieces or food into smaller and smaller pieces. That increases surface area. That allows the body to more easily digest food. That's why it's important to chew your food. Then the saliva mixes in with the food and that begins chemical digestion. The body, then after this, then you swallow the food and it goes down to your esophagus. This moves food from the mouth to the stomach using muscles that line the esophagus through a process called peristalsis. That is why astronauts up in the space station are able to eat, because food just doesn't drop down into your stomach. Okay, it doesn't need gravity to do that. It actually is pushed by the esophagus down into your stomach. It's a muscle. Next is the stomach. It's a stretchy muscular sac that holds food and continues the process of chemical digestion. With stomach acid and mechanical digestion, turning of the food using stomach muscles. Okay. The pancreas produces chemicals such as digestive enzymes that help digest food and neutralize stomach acid when it reaches the small intestines. Important note here, maybe star this, okay? So you can do a little star by this. Food does not, is everybody listening? Okay, let me repeat this. Food does not actually physically pass through the pancreas, okay? It's part of the digestive system because it has this job of neutralizing stomach acid so that the food, known as chyme at this point in time, can go down into the small intestines where it is absorbed. The nutrients from the food is absorbed. Now this is where this is out of whack, okay? Rectum should be at the very end, no pun intended. But this is where solid waste is stored right before it's expelled out of the human body. Large intestines absorbs water from food, stores waste, and eventually eliminates waste from the body. Small intestines is where nutrients are absorbed from food and go into the blood. We'll talk a little bit more about that in just a second. Liver produces bile, which helps digest fats, break down toxins, and regulates cholesterol and sugar in the blood. Again, I would star this one because food does not physically actually pass through the liver. All right, what is mechanical digestion? Where does it occur? So this is one of those ones that you're going to have to do a little bit more writing here. So after I go over this, you might want to hit pause and then hit play when you're ready to continue, okay? Mechanical digestion is the purely physical process of breaking down larger substances into smaller pieces without changing the chemical composition of the substance. Mechanical digestion begins in the mouth with the teeth and continues in the stomach as a churning of food using stomach muscles. What is chemical digestion? Where does it mostly occur? The breaking up of larger molecules into smaller ones through the action of chemicals, hydrochloric acid, and enzymes. Chemical digestion starts in the mouth with saliva and mainly occurs in the stomach with stomach acid. Question number 4. You just took a bite of an apple at lunch. Trace the path of the apple through your digestive system. So here it goes. This is going to go through the whole process from beginning to end. Digestion begins at the mouth, where teeth start mechanical breakdown and saliva begins the chemical breakdown process. Food then moves through the esophagus and into the stomach, where hydrochloric acid mixes with the food to continue chemical breakdown, and the stomach churns to continue mechanical breakdown. Food then passes into the small intestines, where the pancreas produces bile to neutralize stomach acid. The liver also aids in chemical breakdown, produces bile that helps break down fats, and filtration of nutrients before entering the bloodstream. The villi that line the small intestines allow for nutrient absorption. The food then passes into the large intestines where water and vitamins are absorbed. What is left is mostly waste and is stored in the rectum before exiting the body through the anus. There's multiple lines to fill in there, so this would be a great time to hit pause and then hit play when you're ready to continue. Okay, here is a diagram of the digestive system. Okay, you have the esophagus. You've got the stomach, which is right here. It's this right here. It's right behind it. This large thing is actually the liver. The liver, I believe, is one of the larger organs in the human body. Then you've got your small intestines here, and then your large intestines here. Okay, this is a cross-section of the villi. Nutrients are absorbed by the blood across the wall of the small intestines. Finger-like projections from the wall of the small intestines are known as villi. Nutrients must pass through the villi and the walls of the tiny blood vessels to enter the bloodstream. So again, notice it looks like little hills, okay? If it was structured flat like a balloon, we would not, the human body would not be very efficient at nutrient absorption. Okay, so here's the small intestines, and then all around here is this right here. So if it was flat, like the walls of a balloon, we would not be the nutrient absorption would not be very efficient. But this is very efficient because this increases surface area, allows the blood to come in contact with more of the nutrients, therefore more of the nutrients are absorbed. Where does absorption of nutrients take place? What structures enable the small intestines to absorb large amounts of nutrients? Again, just talked about it. Absorption of the nutrients take place in the small intestines. The small intestines are lined with microscopic structures called villi. There are capillaries at the end of the villi, and this is where nutrients are absorbed into the bloodstream. Again, stressing the importance of surface area. I'd write that somewhere on your guide. This increases surface area as opposed to being lined like a balloon, allows the body to be very efficient at nutrient absorption. All right, now we're going to get into the part of the human respiratory system. Okay, first off, we're going to talk about the trachea. That is the tube that connects the throat and nose to the bronchial tubes. There's a little flap of skin that covers the trachea. When you eat, it's called the epiglottis, that prevents food from going down your trachea. Next up is the lungs. This is where oxygen is exchanged between the blood and the circulatory system. These expand during inhalation and contract during exhalation. The right lung is larger than the left lung to accommodate room for the heart. Nose, air enters and exits the body here. Mouth, same thing. Alveoli are the tiny sacs where the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide take place. Here is a diagram of the human respiratory system. You have the alveoli, or these sacs that are at the end of all the bronchial tubes. Notice the structure of the lungs, the inside of the lungs, are similar to that of a tree. Okay, again, this idea of increased surface area allows the body to be very efficient at gas exchange. Okay. Where does gas exchange take place? It takes place in the capillaries of the alveoli. During gas exchange, what substances move into the blood? What substances move out of the blood? During gas exchange, oxygen and other gases diffuses into the blood. Carbon dioxide and water vapor, as well as other gases, diffuse out of the blood. Okay, you should remember that, activity 17, gas exchange. The body produces what was a 3.6 something percent carbon dioxide that you expel out of your body. That comes from all your cells all around your body doing cellular respiration. What does the structure of the bronchial tubes inside the lung resemble? What does this increase? Why is it important? The structure of the bronchial tubes resembles the branches of a tree. This increases the surface area and is important because it allows the lungs to efficiently accomplish gas exchange, opposed to being structured flat like a balloon and being very inefficient. All right, label the parts of the heart above. Describe the function. The aorta, also known as the main artery, carries blood from the left side of the heart to the organs of the body. Left atrium receives oxygen-rich blood returning from the lungs. Valves keeps the blood flowing in one direction in the heart. Again, I think we've overstressed that point the importance of the valves, and what happens if the heart doesn't have valves. Left ventricle receives oxygen-rich blood from the left atrium and pumps the oxygen-rich blood to the other organs of the human body. The right ventricle receives deoxygenated blood from the right atrium, that is blood that's low in oxygen, and pumps the deoxygenated blood to the lungs. The right atrium receives deoxygenated blood that is low in oxygen, returning back to the heart from the organs of the human body. Okay, the reason why this is out of order is because there's a diagram, okay, if you're wondering, same way with the digestive system. All right, so here is a picture of the human heart. Now let's go over blood entering and exiting the heart. So blood enters the right side of the heart. This is the right atrium. It is sent down to the right ventricle. The right ventricle then pumps it up through the pulmonary artery, where it goes to each side. One side goes to the left lung, the other goes to the right lung. Or this would be the right, this would be the left. That's where it picks up oxygen. So again, when we're talking about the respiratory system, deoxygenated blood, comes in contact with the capillaries at the alveoli. Carbon dioxide diffuses out, oxygen diffuses in. Oxygen-rich blood then enters back into the heart through the pulmonary vein, into the left atrium, sent down to the left ventricle, and is then pumped up through the aorta, where it goes to all parts of the body. Okay, so A is your aorta, G is your right atrium, F is your right ventricle, B is your left atrium, D is your left ventricle. Why is the heart considered to be two pumped? Describe what the right and left side of the heart do for the heart. Again, the heart is considered to be two pumps because the right side of the heart pumps deoxygenated blood to the lungs. Left side of the heart pumps oxygen-rich blood to other organs of the human body. Okay, now we're going to get into what we covered at the very beginning of the unit. What is radial symmetry? A body plan in which any number of imaginary lines that all pass through a central point that divides the animal into two mirror images. What is bilateral symmetry? A body plan in which a single imaginary line divides the body into left and right sides that are mirror images of each other. Talk about what is cellular respiration. Cellular respiration is a process in which cells use oxygen and digestive food molecules to release energy in food. Animals exchange oxygen and carbon dioxide with their surroundings by diffusion across the outer covering or membranes cells. Okay, so food plus oxygen equals cellular respiration. Okay, now what is a waste product? Carbon dioxide and water vapor, which is what we're getting ready to get into. Where does cellular respiration occur? What is the waste product or substance that is produced? Cellular respiration occurs within the cells. Waste products of the cellular respiration are carbon dioxide, water vapor, which is expelled outside of the human body. All right, boys and girls, that is it for the study guide. Gone through that rather quickly. I would encourage you to maybe go back and look at any Bill Nye videos to refresh your memory on some of the stuff. Look through your notes, and definitely feel free to rewatch this video to help you study for the test. All right, have a great rest of your day.